So I've been thinking for a while, what is self-improvement? Why do people do it in the first place? Since I was 19, this has always been quite a key part of my character. It was where I was in a situation where I wasn't too happy with who I was. I didn't really have any habits or hobbies which really identified me other than the ones that were given to me, like school and things like that. So I always found myself going along with crowds, like drinking and things like that, where I was around people I didn't really want to be with. And I always had this kind of silent desperation of who am I and who do I want to be with? And that kind of kicked it all off, and a few girl problems along the way, as you'd imagine. And the first thing that I tried back then was NoFap, or trying to avoid watching certain things online and PMO or whatever. And that really kick-started it for me. And then back in, I don't know, 2016 to 2017, 2018, I was teaching myself how to meditate, trying to read as many books as possible, getting into the gym, and just doing all these like cold showers and things, and being really obsessed with the measurement. And I recently read something about Goodhart's law, and that basically states that if something that you measure, or if the measurement becomes an obsession, it ceases to be a good measure, because you kind of lose the point of what you're doing in the first place, which is to improve one specific attribute about your life. And these days, I guess now we're kind of at that post-meta where people are kind of recognizing that like self-improvement can be quite toxic, because a lot of people will just watch videos, or if they have the attention, read books and have this mentality that they're improving themselves or self-improvement. And you have a lot of these like cult-like figures online which tell you how to talk to girls, how to be confident, blah 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 blah. And don't get me wrong, I was in this space as well when I was younger. I don't really watch that kind of stuff anymore because, and this is kind of the point of the video, the more you watch that stuff, the further you are from actually being like that. So for example, confident people don't watch videos on how to be confident, right? Smart people don't watch videos on how to be smart. It's like the only way to do something is to do it. And Atomic Habits talks about this idea of having motion versus action. And it just, in layman's terms, means having the theory or the idea of doing something versus actually doing it. And this is the whole problem with self-improvement. And I found that maybe a few years ago, I stopped reading the self-help books. I stopped watching these videos, and I just started doing stuff. And these weren't all things that had to tie into how is this making me a better person? How is this making me improve? So like certain sports, why is that good? Because, not just because I enjoy it, right? It has to always link back to improving. And it becomes this spiral where you're never really pleased with anything. And the whole point of life is to enjoy it. And I get people are in the place where they want to get girls, or they want to make money, and all these really obvious things. And really and truly, in order to actually self-improve and actually improve and get better, you just have to do things consistently that you want to do. Do them in small chunks, break it down. I'm not trying to go into that in this video, because at the end of the day, there's loads of resources. And if people want to ask me, they can ask me. But going back to the point, I became a coach, a certified coach, a few years ago because I always liked these things and I wanted to help people. And if some of you don't know, when I coach people, I don't give them advice. All it is asking them questions to introspect and using a model to keep them on track and raising their awareness and giving them an action plan. And essentially, in my opinion, that's the only way to self-improve. You don't have to get a coach, but you do have to ask yourself questions. For example, what's in my control? What's not in my control? What resources do I have to help me? What things am I grateful for? How can I change one small thing tomorrow? But those things don't get covered in the general self-improvement landscape because they're not very marketable. And that's one of the problems that I have in marketing my business or my coaching thing, is that, right? I can't just say, do my course, I'll show you what to do, or go these things online, or taking cold showers. Well, I still do all that stuff. But I'll be honest with you, it hasn't really changed anything, right? There was a point where it did, because I started to believe that I had discipline and these things were doing something. I was becoming improved, whatever that means. Like, I don't even know what it means, to be honest. What is improvement? What does that actually mean? And I couldn't define that for the longest time, right? Because I didn't actually know why I wanted to do it. I just didn't want to feel the way I felt. And that was a byproduct of watching all these things and being so obsessed in this world of self-improvement. And there's so many people these days that are sharing their life stories and how they do certain things and how you can be like them. But honestly, I don't think anything I can say to you will really change anything. That's the whole point, right? If you watch another YouTube video, people have this whole thing that you watch the thing and then you can change, but you can't change from watching a video. So the point of this video is just to say self-improvement isn't self-improvement. There are a lot of other ways to do it. Like, obviously, as I said in the other video, I do journaling and I like to read things and be an active participant when I read, like make notes. But these are little things. They don't really matter like that much at the end of the day, right? And I think the most important thing, if you do want to improve, I did say there is no like definition for it, but it's just awareness, right? How much more aware of yourself are you becoming? And I think that's like probably the best measure of improvement, awareness, because as everyone knows, unless you're aware of something, you can't really begin to solve the problem. And then the next question would be, how can you be more aware? Again, this is different depending on the person. I like to keep a pocket journal with me all the time. I like to write certain things. Writing's always really good for me. Some people don't like writing. Some people prefer talking or therapy or whatever. You know, I like to meditate and sit with my thoughts. I like to make these videos because, again, speaking and writing are very similar, but obviously one's paper, one's, yeah. So I think in future, if you can avoid self-improvement videos, I think even better than self-improvement videos, if you have to consume something, is philosophy, because it's not telling you what to do. It's giving you an abstract idea which you can apply. And when you have an abstract idea that you can apply, it kind of like leaves the rest of the guesswork up to you, and you have to do that hard work. It forces you to figure something out. But with all these self-improvement videos, it gives the illusion that there is no guesswork, there is no implementation of these methods. And I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. I hope that it does. But yeah, I think try to write, try to record stuff, try to do what I'm doing. Working out is always good. And just don't compare yourself to others, you know. And watching these videos, even I have that bit of comparison in me. But it's gotten better because, you know, I found a girlfriend, I'm in better shape, and just generally I have a lot of things to be grateful for. When I count my blessings, a lot of the other things just kind of fade into the background. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little ramble.